Remember Porter's 3 generic strategies? I'm sure you do. And that's why before diving into the second part of our pricing and product decisions module, let's do an in-video quiz, and I'll see you back in 3. So thanks for doing the in-video quiz. I'm sure you're all now up to speed. You've gotten it back into your minds. Let's now have a look at what happens if you combine these strategies, how you try to combine these strategies, if at all possible. And we're going to be talking about a strategy or a setting called stuck in the middle. And you can already guess from the name that this is not a great place to be in. What does it mean? What does it mean to be stuck in the middle? So if you're a firm that fails to develop your strategy in at least one of these 3 directions, differentiation, cost leadership, or focus, then you're in a bad place. You're not very profitable. You're not perceived as delivering high value. You're basically in a poor position. You're in a bad place. Why is that? You may lack the market share, the capital investment, the resolve, the mindset to play the low-cost game in the first place. You may lack the industry-wide differentiation in the eyes of consumers to obviate the need for a low-cost position. Right? So if you don't have a great case for being differentiated, you would have to be delivering lower cost, and if you can't do that, then you're not differentiated, you're in a bad place. And finally, you also might lack the focus to create differentiation or low-cost position. So you're not even taking one market segment and you deliver superior value either in terms of cost or in terms of differentiation to that market segment. So then you're stuck in the middle. How does that look like? Well, here we have a graph looking at profits and looking at market shares. Now, where would you be if you follow a differentiation strategy? Well, you're going for low market share, trying to be a niche player, but you want to be very profitable. If you're a cost leader, you have to get high market share, and the high market share is the justification for efficiency, for high efficiency, and that's going to make you profitable. So high profits here, high profits there. What happens in between? In between, you're stuck in the middle. You neither have the value proposition in a niche that gives you higher profits or lets you charge higher price cost margin, nor do you have the market share to make you particularly efficient. And if you're very efficient, you could also achieve high profits, probably at a low margin, but over a high volume, that again is going to make you profitable. But being stuck in the middle means you're focused on neither of the 2 strategies and you are unprofitable. So the clear implication here is that you would either go for one or the other, but never try to do both. Now, however, sometimes this can be profitable. Sometimes you can combine the 2 and be what you call ambidextrous. So being stuck in the middle does not mean that firms cannot pursue multiple strategies simultaneously, but they have to have the organization for it. They have to be set up to do exactly that. So pursuing hybrid or ambidextrous strategies might lead to even better results than following pure strategies. But what's important is that you organize, you structure your organization, you structure your firm precisely for that goal. So you need to be actively developing skills to be very cost efficient and skills to be good in differentiation. So one example here would be Nike ID shoes. So what you do there, or what Nike does there, is you can mass customize your own sneaker, right? So you can mass customize through online stores. You go on an online store and you could just, you customize, you choose your specific design. So that's going to be, on the one hand, it's very cost efficient because it's mass customized. On the other hand, you can customize, so you can use one specific design for yourself. You can individually choose your own design. So in these past 2 videos, we've looked at 3 generic strategies that firms can implement to ensure high profits. The generic strategies we talked about are cost leadership, differentiation, and focus. All three of these strategies will promise a strong competitive position, and most of all, they will promise high profits. But it's important that companies do not try to implement all of these at the same time without being organized for it, if you wish. So in this case, if they're not organized and if they try to do both at the same time, they get stuck in the middle, and profits are lower, profits are at risk. So only in certain circumstances, if you're set up specifically for trying both, firms might be successful in pursuing these multiple strategies simultaneously. And we'll call this very special case ambidexterity. So now, thanks very much for staying on throughout the course, throughout this very last video, and I'll see you back in the wrap-up video. Thanks very much.